Servus and hello and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel Biggy's Galanteria. Today I want to show you how I made this ring. I call it the princess ring. This ring I used the following materials: a 10mm glass pearl, 15 OC beads, half Tila beads, 3mm Czech glass beads and 11 OC beads for the ring band. The exact material list you will find behind the video in the description box. Okay, let's start. For this ring I begin with 8 half Tila beads and 8 15 OC beads. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. No. Let it fall down to the end of your thread. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We make a half knot and a double knot at the end. A half knot and a double knot. And pull the thread tight. Okay. We go through all beads again. And I make a half knot and a double knot once again. Through the half Tila beads, the 15 O, until we come to the end, and now I make a double knot once again. Pull the thread tight, and we got a ring. Now we go through the next 15 O and a half Tila bead. And we step up to the upper hole in the half Tila bead. I take two 15 OC beads on my needle and go through the next half tiller bead. Two 15 O's and through the next half tiller bead. And so we close this row and I show you the next step. So I have my last two 15 OC beads on my needle and go through the last half tiller bead and I pull my thread tight and you can see we got a little basket. If you want, you can go through all beads again. The next step, I go to the next 15 OC bead. The position is equal, it's not so important. We go through one 15 OC bead, pull the thread tight. I take the 10mm pearl on my needle and I go for the next 15 OC bead on the upper side and go in this direction the half ring. Also, I came out of this 15 OC bead on this side and I go to the upper side 15 O on this side and close this half ring. And you can see the pearl is snipping in the middle of our basket. Go through all your beads on this side until you came back where your pearl is fixed on this side, and now we go back through the pearl and we close the half ring on the other side. And we came back on this side and go through these two 15 O's. And we go through the next half tiller bead. And I take on my needle 3 15 OC beads. I come with my thread on this side out and I go in the same half tiller bead the next 2 15 OC beads and the next half tiller bead. And you can see I get these 3 pearls over the half tiller bead. Okay, we repeat this 7 times again. Go back through the same half tiller bead. And we got these 3 pearls over the half tiller bead. Okay, repeat this until you come to the end and then we see again. Okay, I have my last 3 15 OC beads on the needle. I go back through the same half tiller bead and you can see we have on every half tiller bead 3 15 OC beads. We go back for the first 2 15 OC beads of the same row, and now we take a 3mm Czech glass bead on the needle and go through the next middle 15 OC bead. The next Czech glass bead through the next middle 15 OC bead. The next one, and so on. The next one through the next 15 OC bead. Okay, we need 2 once again. And the last one, what's that? That's a destroyed pearl. It's very difficult to find the 15 OC beads. Okay, and the last one. Through the middle 15 OC bead. Okay, and the last one. Go through the next 15 OC bead, the middle C bead, the Czech glass bead, and the next middle C bead. Okay, now we take 3 15/0 C beads on the needle and go back through this 15/0 C bead. Through the Czech glass pearl if you find it, and the next 15/0 C bead. Three 15/0 C beads, go back through the same 15/0 C bead, the Czech glass bead and the next 15/0 C bead, and we got this little embellishment about the 15/0 C beads. Okay, see me again if you end this row. I got the last 3 15/0 C beads on my needle and go back through the same 15/0 C bead and the Czech glass bead, and that's the end of this row. And that's the first step of our ring head. Now we make the second step on this ring head, where to go through the next 15/0 C bead, go through this 15/0, and through the next half Tila bead. Now we take a half Tila bead and go through the next half Tila bead of our first row. And we repeat this 8 times. Meet me again if you have ended this step. Last half Tila bead is on my needle and I go through the last half Tila bead. And I go through the next half Tila bead I take in the last row on my needle, and I step up to the upper hole and now I take one 15/0 C bead and one 3mm Czech glass bead on my needle and one 15/0 C bead, and I go to the next half Tila bead and close the gap. Once again, one 15/0, one 3mm Czech glass bead, one 15/0 through the next half Tila bead, and so on. And meet me back if you close your row. So the last unit, one 15/0, one Czech glass bead, one 15/0, go through the next half Tila bead, and if you want, and that's my advice at you, Go through all your beads once again. Then you get this ring stronger. And it gets more stiffness. Okay. The next step, we go through the next half Tila bead. Okay, let's close the round. Okay, the next step is the half Tila bead. And we go back to the lower hole. And we take 3 15 OZ beads on our needle and go back to the next half Tila bead. And we close this gap. 3 15 OZ beads on the needle, through the next half Tila bead, and we repeat this 8 times. One, 2, 3. Back to the next half Tila bead. Once again. 3 15 OZ beads. One, 2, 3. And the last 3. Okay. I advise you go through all beads once again. If you want a second ones, and then is the ring head finished. The next step is to fix the ring band on the ring head, and you can see it's very simple. Okay, ring band, I advise you to use a new thread, because if your ring band is destroyed or you want to change the pearls again, you can cut it and you could make a new ring band. So imagine this is a new thread. I go through the first 2 half Tila beads and these 3 15 OZ beads. And I take 5 11 OZ beads of the same color, or if you want other color, I take the same color. 5 11 OZ beads, and you go back you came out of this half tiller bead and you go back to this. Once again, go through all 3 15 OC beads and the half tiller bead where you started. And you make this this 511 string. Once again, we go through the half tiller beads, through the 3 15 OC beads and the half tiller bead. And go through this 511 OC beads. Now I take 2 11 OC beads on my needle, go back through this 2, on my first row, go back through this second 2, take 3 on my needle, 311 and go back through this 311 on my first row. Go back through this 311 on this side. Pull my thread tight and go back through my first row and my second row through all beads. Pull my thread tight Okay, now I take 2 once again on my needle, go back through this 2 on this side, go back through this 2, take 3 on my needle, go back this 3 on this side, go back to this 3 on this side, and I go through all beads on my second row and my third row. Pull my thread tight. I begin every row with 2 and I go through all rows once again with my thread. Go through this two, Take 3 on your needle, go through this 3 on this. And go through this 3 of your new row. Pull your thread tight, go through all pearls on this row and all of this row. Pull your thread tight and you got a ring band. That's very easy to make. If you come to the other side, you have go through these 2 half Tila beads and this 3 15 OC beads, and you reinforce your thread 3 times, I think, and stitch your thread in the ring and make knots. And then, if you finished, you got this ring. You can see on this side 5 11 OC beads and 2 half Tila beads. And I think it's a very, very gorgeous ring. I show you some color examples that I made for a long time. This is a pink and gold. And you can see I used Czech glass beads and bicons. And it's more a square than a round. And this pearl is bigger. You can see it's a 12 millimeter pearl. Then I made sorry, this in light blue. It's a jade pearl in 12 millimeter. And you can see I made some embellishment about the Czech glass beads. It's a triangle. Then this dark pink, also with a jade pearl and 12 millimeter, and with embellishment about the bicons. Then I have a blue-green color and with different Czech glass bead colors. And the ring band is made with 15 OC beads. Then a light pink or dark pink, dark pink with silver. And these are 3 millimeter bicons, and on this side this is 4 millimeter bicons. I love this color combination. Then I had some examples of green and dark green emerald, and more a blue-green half Tila bead and a copper without ring band. And this is the last try I made. It's a gold pearl and a bronze sea beads and a half Tila beads are a blue brown. It looks very pretty in the light. So I hope I give you some joy, and I hope we will see again. And until this, be healthy and happy. Bye bye.